Hey, 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 this is your recap Auntie. Hey, y'all, hey. Hey, we are back. Yeah, we are back for episode number 67 with Beyond the Gates. But y'all know we be sitting on the porch, honey. We sit on the porch and we, give our little tea. We be sipping and talking and sipping before these gates open. So I want to go ahead and read the comments about what y'all was talking about. Now, the first comment I am going to read is from Miss Betty Lockett 4359. Hey Betty, this is her comment from yesterday's video. Sometimes I'll be doing my videos a little early, but I wanted to make sure I include Miss Betty in today's conversation. And she says, I love your show. I love the old Ted when he was there. He did his job and God has another assignment for him. He sure did. Now the new Ted, he's doing a good job in this role. It is very, very hard to step into a popular character. But this guy, he always gives his best to every role. That is so true. And the in and out guy, the only one nobody seems to notice, I think he works for Bill. Now that's a good angle, Miss Betty, because I don't know. Bill has always got something because that guy is. I think he's really focused on Martin. So it wouldn't surprise me if Bill did hire him as like an in and out guy, as you called him. I like that. Thank you, Miss Betty. All right. So this is from episode number 66. People are offering their conversation, their tea time conversation. So Miss Crystal Waters, hey Crystal 4426. She says, nail on the head, Auntie. For whatever reason, Bill did Danny dirty, but he still loves her. I really believe that Danny knows him like Haley never will. You better say that, sis. She was ridiculous standing there, rolling her eyes, looking all jealous as hell. That's exactly what she was doing. You describe Haley's ass to a T. She's talking about, I was so jelly. Just watching your girl. Just go to your room. Go in the corner and suck your thumb, honey, because that's exactly what you look like. A little kid when they was up there handling grown folks' business. Thank you. All right. The next comment is from Ronnie. Hey, Ronnie. 8347. She says, great review as always. That hospital scene, honey. That hospital scene with Danny and Bill. The look on Haley's face gave me my whole life. I was laughing, honey, and I had to watch that scene twice. Girl, you better rhyme, honey. That was bars right there. Life and twice. You better say that. I hope she knows now that Bill is still in love with Danny. We all see it. Did y'all see the look of joy on his face when that woman walked through that door and she put that hand on his shoulder, honey? Girl, Haley's water could have broke right then. And she only, 2 weeks pregnant? Thank you, Ronnie. All right, the next comment we have is from Miss Raquel Batson, 3260. Hey, Raquel. She says, hey, Auntie, I think you're right about Danny and Bill. They both still love each other. I could see Bill finds out Haley is lying about the baby. I hope that bitch is lying. He goes to Danny to crown her shoulder, and one thing leads to another. Girl, you better write the plot. Go ahead. Poor Andre is going to get his heart broken, honey. I would like to see Bill and Danny reconciliation. Yeah. Leslie, ... crazy as soup sandwich. Girl, not soup sandwich. Sammich. That's what I always say when I want to. It hurts too much to say sandwich. I said sandwich, honey. Not a soup sandwich, girl. That Leslie, I tell you, I had to stop my recording and laugh at that heifer for walking in that damn hospital with that choo-choo train hat on and them dark ass glasses. And Shanice was like, no, bitch. I see who you are. I know exactly who the fuck you are. That was so funny, y'all. But thank you, Raquel. All right, the next is from my boo. Cynthia always got something, and I love it. Cynthia Judkins 2250. She says, for Leslie to be innocent, she's going around trying to figure out what's on that video. And then she also says, Bill looks so humongous in that bed. She said that Bill looked like a big, big man in that hospital bed. Girl, he's a big man. I told you that nigga look about 650, not weight, but height. He's a big nigga. Big, honey. And when he put his hand on Haley's shoulder, it's shit. His hand covered from her shoulder down to her damn elbow. He's a big man. So yeah, he did look a little, big in that little tiny teeny bed. But yeah, Leslie, For her to be so innocent, honey, she's leaving guilt. She's visited too many people who she's questioning. So it's guilt. It's like, girl, leave them people alone. Let them people eat their food. You keep bothering people, talking over their food and shit. Let them go. And we have Cynthia again. She says, I would like for either Lance Gross, Ronrico Lee, or Clifton Powell to play Dante. Yes, I said yes. Yeah, Raquel agreed. Yes, Clifton is always dirty, dirty. Yes, I didn't think about that. Yes, I don't know who Ronrico Lee. I'm gonna have to look him up, but I know the other people. Girl, Clifton, if they bring him in, is that mean ass Dante Green? Yeah, and then I've also been hearing some rumors that possibly June. You ain't heard it from me. We know we on the front porch just gossiping, right? If you listen real close to the voiceover of Barbara reading, girl, that's June reading her now. Child, that sound like June's voice. I don't know though. Maybe she's Barbara's daughter and just lost everything. Cause remember, Anita said that she gave them some money, but she don't know what they did with it or nothing. It makes me wonder, is June? I don't think now June looks too young to be Barbara, but I wonder is June's Barbara's daughter? I don't know. It sounded like her. Whoever did, now they ain't gonna have no person like come over here, Char. Let's do this voiceover without us seeing who the person is or the connection. But I swear, when the person said that girl sounded like June, I said she sure did sound like June. It did. And it makes me wonder, is June, because you got Naomi and Jacob really helping her. And Naomi is a big fan of the articulates. Wouldn't it be something? Oh, I got chills, y'all. Wouldn't it be something if Naomi was able to connect June to Barbara and that she was able to bring June there so that Anita could help that girl and really bring this whole forgiveness, that self-forgiveness full circle by her bringing in June, baby. Ooh. Ooh, child, that thing has my brain turning. I'm writing plots, honey. I'm writing plots just like my girl Raquel is writing plots, girl. We need to start our own show. Ooh, that's something to think about. All right, our next comment is from Betty Lockett 4359. Hey, Betty, girl, you came back. Thank you, girl. She says, hi. It was so good today. I don't understand why Leslie keep getting away with everything. She should have been behind bars. I think Leslie is going to walk in on Andre and Danny. I thought that too, Miss Betty. She says, I also think that Bill was happy to see Danny and Haley look like a little lost girl in that hospital. Yes, she did. Karma is coming. Doug should leave Miss Kitty because she can't keep her legs closed around strangers. She sure can't. And Anita need to just stop feeling bad. She can't change the past, just like what Vernon said. And if they don't want to do the reunion, then let it go and move on. At least you tried. You have nothing to lose, but they do. That's true. Do they have a lot to lose? Or maybe, I don't know, honey. But thank you, Miss Betty. You hit every plot and plan in that particular episode, and I want to thank you, girl, for giving me your words. That means so much. And we have my love, Cynthia Judkins 2250. She said Haley was in her feelings when Danny put her hand on Bill's shoulder. Yes, she did. Haley was sitting there. Her face looked so sour, just like a lemon, baby. We could have made a good Arnold Palmer with that face that she was making today. Well, let's go ahead on and get ready to open up these gates, baby, so we can enjoy Beyond the Gates. Episode number 67. Y'all ready? Let's go. We open up today's show with Vernon coming in, and he sees Anita sitting on the couch, keep looking at her phone. I don't know if she's looking to see if they called or she's looking to see if she can maybe call them. I don't know, but she still looks nervous. She's, if you're still looking at your phone, honey, that means you still have an interest in something or someone. So she takes a deep breath and she starts to take that middle finger like we old women do when we want to dial people on our cell phone, and she gets to dialing. And the next scene we see Sharon and Tracy at Orphy Jeans. I guess that's their favorite spot. Is this like one day or two? Because ain't they supposed to have been gone back home for her Chicago and Tracy is up in Philly? They still hanging out, honey. If I were neat, I'd be like, if they still here, that means that they still want to be, do a shoe wop dupe. Let's see what they talking about. So apparently Miss Sharon is running late. She tell Tracy, "Girl, don't be getting on me about being late, honey. We could have wrapped this up on yesterday. Remember our plan we was talking about? We could have wrapped this up." And so Tracy's like, well, about that. And Sharon was like, "Girl, I swear every time I try to have a conversation with your ass, you keep checking on your phone. Now who calling you?" She was like, Sharon was like, "Now that I've agreed to do the concert, honey, instead of us coming over here to Orphy Jeans to pay for our breakfast, honey, we should have been over to Anita's palace and let her feed us." So Tracy's like, "Well, there's been a glitch in Anita's reunion plans." And so Sharon was like, "A glitch?" And she leans back in the chair talking about what the hell kind of glitches you talking about, sis? So we're back at the palace, and Vernon comes into the living room and asks Anita, "I assume that you were about to call that agent." She was like, "Well, I was about to, but there's no need in, having Jim Price go ahead and plan this full concert when it's never going to happen." And he was like, "Well, you did have since yesterday to call. You have a reason to still not call him. Despite of everything that happened, you still ain't call him yet, boo." "Oh, honey, look who back, honey, with her white on, looking cute with her chocolate skin, honey. It's Laura, honey. We ain't seen Laura walking since what, episode 2, 3." She's coming over to Nicole and Mona's house, and they are so happy to see her. She looks really, really good. Good for you, Laura. Child, honey, there's a Febreze sitting there with a letter for Laura sitting right next to it. The name of this Febreze episode is called Smooth and Restore. And the peach bottle. So the letter says that she had an appointment. Feel free to settle back in. I'm like, who wrote that letter? Sixth grader? Because I swear. Beyond the gates people, who wrote this letter? Did y'all have one of y'all children write that cursive letter? Because you know that's old school. Who writes cursive these days? They would have texted her, right? How cute. Oh. She puts the letter down and she goes into Nicole's office. She opens the door and then you see Nicole, Kat, and Mona say, "Surprise, bitch, surprise, welcome back. We're going to kill Leslie with surprise." So Laura was like, "Oh my God, I saw the note and I just," and Nicole was like, "Girl, don't you know we've been counting the minutes, honey, until you came back to us?" And so she gave her a hug. So we're back at Uptown, baby, with Ted and Eva. So he's happy. He's so happy that she had a chance to meet with him because they're having dinner. And he told her that he wants to hear all about her new job at the salon. Or as Leslie says, at the bougie ass, bougie ass. What's she that bougie ass salon? So Eva tried to play like it. I mean, it's all right, it's fine. And then she was looking at Ted, and Ted was like, she was like, "Look, it's more than fine, honey. We have some high class clientele that come in there, DC heavy hitters." Girl, I didn't come in there yet. So she tells him that Samantha actually came in to let her do her hair again. Y'all remember a few episodes ago, Samantha had her hair done at the house when everybody was finding out about Eva and stuff. So she really thanks him. She said, "Ted, you really set me up something special at that spot." So he was like, "They sound all fine and well." He said, "But Eva, look, I'm really asking what's the tea? I don't want you to be telling me what you want me to hear. I want you to tell me the truth." We all know Eva. She loved being an office assistant. I think that she would do great at Ted's office as his assistant because Kat is busy around there being Detective Kat. And she's helping out with the new brand with Chelsea. So he doesn't have an assistant. So send that girl to school and go ahead and let her be your office assistant because the girl was bad. That girl found her niche. She found her thing when she was helping being the office assistant. Go ahead and let her do it. So he's like, "I want to know how you really feel." He was like, "And I want to know, if your mammy told you that me helping you find a job was a bad move. I want you to tell me that too. I want you to tell me every damn thing." So now we back at Leslie's house, honey. She looking through a magazine and then she looks away from the magazine and she goes back to that little, tete-a-tete that she had with Eva about the damn helmet and them damn gloves. And, Eva was like, "Calm down, Mom. I mean, it's like in safekeeping just so that I could keep my eyes on your ass and you won't be throwing me under the bus no more." That's where it is. And we all know that I'm going to hide it here because it's much better than your apartment because we know that that's the first damn place that the cops will look. Then all of a sudden we back to reality and we hear her on the door, honey. "Let's see who's at this door." He says, "Leslie Thomas." So it's Jacob, of course. She opens the door. She's like, oh, officer, sexy yet annoying. Why is she hitting on the? Well, she has a thing with hitting on married men, so it works. She's like, hi. So he was like, I have a warrant to search the premises unimpeded. That means you can't get in the way, bitch. She snatched that paper out of his hands and looks at it and looks at him and the other cop. She's like, well, what took you so long? Get on in here. Let's have some fun, huh? Oh, and I can help you, baby, with anything you need, she tells him. Jacob with his serious ass, I think we can manage. And she's so confident. She lets them both in there and closing the door, smiling like, y'all ain't gonna find shit, so I'm cool. Honey, we are back from the commercials and we're back at Leslie's apartment. So Jacob, with his serious ass, says, I need your ass to stay out the way. I have the uniform officer right here to make sure that we do that. Keep your ass out the way. So Leslie's like, you barely walked through the door and you're already threatening me? Can't the brat find some ratty old motorcycle jacket? And she thinks that it ties me to some random accident. Next thing, I'm public enemy number one. Now listen, I haven't given you no trouble. No trouble so far, right? And I don't intend to start any. She like moving closer to Jacob. Jacob loves Naomi, honey. Ain't nothing you can do to turn on that charm. Although he likes sisters of your complexion, your hair is too straight. And you're too old. He looking at her stoic, honey. Well, thank you for your fucking cooperation. Because that, what you doing right now, ain't got nothing on what I got at home. So she's like, I mean, you could tell me what you're looking for and it might go faster. He's like, I'll tell your ass when I find it. Go ahead, Jacob. She's like, oh, the motorcycle ride. Oh, wow. Now, see, that would be a slam dunk. Swoosh. Oh, but wait. Where would I stash it? Let me think. Oh, of course, silly me. I could have broken it down and shoved it all into the toilet. Or maybe put it under the bed. They do say I'm pretty handy. She is really just crossing that line when it comes to flirting with an officer, and he's married. Wanna check? She leans into him like, you wanna check under my bed? Pretty, sweet, sexy, handsome officer. Jacob was like, thanks, bitch, but I'll check out the closet instead. That's where all the skeletons are. Then she waves at the other officer. He looking at her like, bitch, I'm here to take you down if I need to, because you're dangerous. You better have an extra, baby. Where you at? Are you in Atlanta too? You be like, look, y'all, I'm going to be on episode number 67. I'm a cop. I ain't got no lines, but I got some FaceTime. Go ahead, boo. You better be the cop on there. Okay, so he goes into the closet, looks through her panties and everything, her clothing. So she's looking to see what he's looking at. So he finds this brown box on one of the shelves. He talking about, gotcha. Jacob ain't nothing in there. But Jacob is smart as fuck because he got gloves on. You supposed to have gloves on, honey, when you're touching other people's shit. So he goes to this brown box. He pulls out this pink jacket, and he pulls out this ornate African print box and takes the lid off. And so he finds something. So Leslie is looking with her fingers on her chin like, man, you know what? We're back at Orphy Jeans, baby. We are back at Orphy Jeans with Miss Sharon and Miss Tracy. What are they talking about? So Sharon is telling Tracy, girl, cut to the chase. I ain't got all day, woman. So Tracy was like, girl, actually you do. Anita's canceling. Sharon was like, you got to be fucking kidding me. So Tracy tells her, I didn't want to tell you yesterday because she was really hoping that Anita was going to change her mind, but it looks like she hasn't. And she says the reunion is off. So Sharon was like, and she got Vernon to call your ass and tell you? She didn't have the damn guts to tell you herself? Tracy was like, look, from the way that Vernon sounded, it looks like he might have probably volunteered that phone call. To drop the bomb, honey, huh? To kick us to the curb? No. Tracy was like, well, it felt like he was kind of trying to give me some type of secret message. He said that if we really want this thing to happen, we have to step up and convince Anita to change her mind. Sharon said, damn that woman to hell and back. Shit. So we're back at the palace, honey. So, Vernon said, despite everything, so Anita was like, despite everything? You mean despite the grief I feel for Barbara? My guilt for the way that I treated her? Despite Tracy barely being able to tolerate me? And the fact that Sharon, honey, Sharon has made it perfectly clear that she don't even want to be in my presence, much less perform with my ass. Is that the everything you're talking about, baby, that I'm supposed to just push aside and push this concert forward despite? Is that what you're talking about? So here he go with his Vernon logic. Like, here's my math. She's like, no, baby, Here you go. You trying to make the moment great like you always do. She's like, this moment ain't it. He's like, look, hear me out, okay? So she sits down. He was like, first, that damn Dante Green, he tried to convince all of you that the price of stardom was leaving Barbara behind. That was damn harsh. Now, second, she was lost to you by her own hand. You know, that was horribly tragic. As a person who normally takes themselves out always is. Y'all know we can't say that word on YouTube. Off oneself, all you know what that is. Y'all read between the lines, y'all. He says, and third. Now the letter that Barbara wrote before she took her, she offed herself. That was so brutal for you, darling. But these are all things, honey, that you knew when you first started thinking about this damn reunion. She was like, right, we're proving that you have an idea without realizing the impact of it. She apologizes to him for not telling him sooner. He was like, my only regret about not knowing about this sooner is that the gift that you kept, baby, inside for so long, which actually caused you enormous pain. Pain that you couldn't even acknowledge, baby, but you finally did. You stopped running away from something hard and you met that shit head on. Anita was like, meeting things head on can give your ass a concussion. She tells him that he makes so many excellent points, but she still don't see how all of this adds up, how all of this is adding up together to move forward with this concert. So he was like, if you know deep down inside, but that doing this concert won't bring you any closer to having peace that you've been searching for, then maybe it's time that you do let it go. And he says, but even if a small part of you believes that standing in that spotlight just for one night could ease the weight of what was so damn tragic, then I say let's do it. She was like, well, what if it gets worse? And he was like, look, baby, I don't want you, my beautiful wife, to carry around any more regrets, especially when it comes to your work sisters. You've carved out spaces in each other's hearts all those years ago. You had made marks, too, that time and that distance could never erase. This is your chance, baby, to honor that bond, to breathe life back into something that really mattered. And you can help reignite that magic, not just for yourself, not just for Barbara, but for everyone who was lucky enough to witness what you all created. And for the rest of us, baby, it just ain't gonna be just a concert. It will be joy and healing and a reminder that even after loss, something beautiful can still rise. You better say that, Vernon. We come back from the commercials, and so Nita tells Vernon, honey, you always know exactly what to say, even when I don't know what to think. She says she was so happy to reconnect with Tracy, and she knew that there was going to be some underlying tension there between them. And believe it, there was. But overall, baby, we really enjoyed each other. To put it in your words, despite everything. We laughed and we thought about some stories about the old days. Yeah, we did. We pushed through some dark moments. But being with Tracy really made me start to believe that this concert could be something special. I was already hearing all the old songs in my head. Hearing the applause, baby, and feeling the energy being on stage. Then Vernon was like, then enter Sharon. And so Anita was like, exactly. So Anita was like, yeah, Sharon, she definitely reminded me how much water has flown under that bridge. And how bad it was when Dante made us leave Barbara behind. And how we crushed and shattered her to where that poor baby couldn't handle it anymore. Vernon was like, look, Anita, we all make our choices, darling. But here's the thing. When I stepped out on my own, Tracy and Sharon felt rejected. And my timing, honey, was right after Barbara's way out. Y'all know what I'm talking about. So that definitely could have been a lot better. But we were supposed to be taking a break to grieve our sister Barbara. But me, I never came back. And that break turned into a permanent separation. Wow. Now that makes sense now why Tracy and Sharon are pissed with her. Because I was like, didn't Dante kick Barbara out but kept the other three? That's what happened. So I guess Dante was in her ear enough to the point was like, look, you don't need those two either. We can you can be a star without them. And she was so determined again to get that dream in her hand and run with it, and that's what she did. So that makes a whole lot of sense. So they all did that. It wasn't just the fact of it being Anita. It was all three. I bet you all three of them got letters. They got to have had letters. It can't just be Anita. All three of them got letters. I bet you they did. And it also caused the end of the articulates. And Verna was like, hell, I ain't know that. Anita was like, I was too ashamed to tell you. So Vernon was like, well, that's all right, baby. You told me when you were ready. I love Vernon. He was like, if that's not until it was right now, then so be it. Oh my God, I love him so much. He's so patient. Oh, my man is like that too, to be honest. Not to brag, but he really, really is. But Vernon is a sweetheart. He really is. She's like, stop being so kind to me. You need to cuss my ass out. He was like, I can't help it. Shit. Besides, why should I flog on you when you're doing such a good job of doing it yourself? She starts laughing. She's like, and don't make me laugh. He was like, look, laughter is great for clarity. It really, really is. And it's also great for the soul. But you want to know what else is? She says, what? He says, music. Music is good for the soul. And he was like, well, only you will ever know if this concert can heal you three or not. He said he knows that it starts right there, and he pointed to her chest, her heart. I think that's what he was trying to touch. She says, I love you so much, Vernon Dupree. People say marriage is about telling the truth, but it's also about hearing it when it's told to you. You better say that, Anita. Yeah, you have to tell the truth, but you also have to hear it when it's being, girl. Whew, these are some gems, honey. And she tells him, and you are the only person in the world who can make me hear what I need to hear when I need to hear it most. Man, that was such a precious moment because we as people, we will carry around burdens and guilt for so many years. Oh, that was so good. Okay, now we're back to Leslie. And so Jacob is looking at her, and so she was like, something on your mind, detective? He says, it's just odd because this place ain't that big. And she was like, suit me, I'm on a budget. So now you just create all this you got all this space, and now you want to just store empty boxes in your closet? That don't make no sense. She comes and looks at it. It's like, it isn't empty. It's where she stores her hopes and fucking dreams. She says to love and be loved. To find fucking happiness. Girl, you pissing on my leg and tell me it's raining. Stop it. And most of all, to know and also accept that I deserve that as much as anybody. Beyond those fucking gates. She grabs the top to the box and she's like, careful, or all my dreams will spill out. They should be able to tell that something is mentally wrong with her. And so she puts the lid on the box, and she says, and we don't want that. She kind of said that little threat like. Oh, we're back at the nice, beautiful energy of Nicole's house with Laura and Mona and Kat. Oh. So Laura says, and I thought I couldn't be more surprised anymore. Oh. And Nicole was like, girl, you have no idea how much we missed you, girl. Kat was like, we wish that you were never forced to leave in the first place. So Nicole was like, we all know how wrong that was. And like Mona says, like, we all hope that the police is going to get the evidence that they need to charge Leslie Ass for what she did to you. So Laura asked him how is it coming along, and Kat was like, it's going a lot slower than she'd like it to go. She said Jacob is working on it. So Mona was like, look, Jacob is a really good dude. He ain't gonna forget about you, honey. And Kat was like, and it doesn't hurt that I'm constantly in his face and on his ass about and in his face all the time about you, girl. So Nicole was like, Ted and I were the targets, girl, and unfortunately you paid the price. You paid that price for being in Leslie's way, and I'm just not talking about on the road. But Kat is like, well, on the road to Eva infiltrating our damn lives. So Laura was like, I thought it was like Leslie behind everything. She said, you know what? She scared the fuck out of me when she paid me a friendly visit to my hospital room. Mona was like, I wish my ass was there to boot that bitch out. So she said Eva played her part, and I know she had something to do about what happened at your anniversary party. But Laura says Eva has not come after her personally, at least not that she know of. Kat was like, that bitch is sneaky. And Nicole was like, look, girl, it's complicated trying to figure Eva. It's complicated trying to figure Eva out. Yes, she tried to, just squash things at the party, but she wouldn't have had to do that if she didn't sign on to her mammy's plans. And she lied to all of us, and Kat was like, Mom, please, it's not that complicated. And she breaks down. Eva was mad at Dad because he apparently abandoned her when she was a baby. Then she used Laura's job to get back at Dad. Laura and the rest of us were just collateral damage. So Nicola's like, look, Ted is trying to work out a relationship with Eva. He does see the good in her. She said, there might be something to that. I don't care. I don't know. Kat was like, look, I ain't got no doubt that bitch is always up to no good. So Nicole was like, girl, Kat. She's like, look, Mama, I know that you have your opinion about Eva, and I got mine. But mine happens to be right, Mama. And then she gives this little smile. Hey, we back at Uptown with Ted and Eva, and she was like, I don't care what my mama thinks about me working at Serenity Spa and Hair, nor do I care about what she thinks about you helping me get that job either. It was really a nice thing for you to do, Ted, to help me out, and it really did. He was like, all right, but something else is going on. I can hear it in your voice. Is something going on? Is there a problem at the shop? It was like you get into a little squabble with one of the hair techs. She was like, no, no, no. The people there are incredibly honest. I mean, they are so nice. And the energy is like just my vibe. It's pretty chill. It's fun. She's like, I seriously could not be more grateful. He's like, but. She was like, well, you spoiled me. I mean, you and Nicole both spoiled me. He was like, how? Sway? She was like, being the assistant. Remember, I just said that. She loved that shit. She said every day there was something different. And she was responsible for so many moving parts, like scheduling and planning events with this and making sure Nicole was right on track with keeping up with her work and social philanthropic events. It was demanding and challenging, and I really didn't know that I would be so into it, but I was. And Ted was like, yeah, I could see that. She tells him that she loves discovering how things work in his world. She says she hates that she betrayed his trust, but she also loves that you trusted me in the first place. You're still betraying him by hiding your mammy's damn helmet and them damn gloves. She's like, does that make sense? And he was like, yeah. She was like, and being able to be entrusted with all of those things regarding Nicole's patients and all the other people that she helps made her feel important. And she said, and wanted. And he was like, look, the three of us, all of us, well, not you, Ted, but the other one. All three of them became very close in a relatively short amount of time. He was like, that's hard to move on from. She was like, yeah, that's true. She's like, and I'm really sorry that I'm not the only one that had to move on. And so Ted tells her that he's really trying to find his way, trying to be a parent to her. And after all the mistakes that he's made, he's just trying to get that part right. So she was like, is this the part where you diss my mom? He's like, look, I can't blame Dana for everything. When we had our affair, look, I was the one that was married. He says, if he's missing Nicole, that is his fault. You're damn right. So Eva was like, I ain't never seen nobody do that before. He was like, what? Like, own your shit. So she was like, okay, I'm going to try it. I cannot blame my mama for everything, even if I want to. He was like, say more. She's like, look, I know that it makes no damn sense at all why I still deal with her, but she's my mama. So he skips the subject. He's like, look, Eva, you're going to probably hear this soon enough. And just to let you know that Laura is out of the hospital. So Eva was like taking back her temp job. No, she's taking back her job. So he tells her that, part of him wants to be there at the house, and that she's where she belongs. But he's not welcome there anymore, not by Nicole and not by Laura. Really? I don't know if Laura feels that way. She's a pretty decent girl. He said because her loyalties lie with Nicole where they should be. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I'm going to agree with Eva. She was like, I really don't know Laura like that, but I don't think that she'll blame. Um, I don't think that she'll blame me for what happened. I just don't think that. So he was like, look, you don't even know how close Laura and Nicole are, and I doubt that she'll be sympathetic at all to my situation. So Eva was like, I do know that there's one person who is really super ecstatic about having Laura back. So we go back to the next scene, and we know who that is. Kitty Cat. So we get back to the house, and Laura is on the computer. She was like, oh my, a lot of things are very different. So Mona was like, what? Eva must have did something different. She's like, yeah, she did have some type of system going on here, Laura says. And so Kat was like, she did have some fucking system, that's for sure. So Nicole was like, girl, Kat, that is not helping this child. Be quiet. So Nicole tells Laura, girl, don't worry about it. You'll sort everything out. So Laura's like, I know, but I just wanted to, hit the ground running. I don't know what the fuck is going on right now. That girl got this system all wrapped around her little finger. Laura's like, I just want to make things seamless for you, Nicole. And so Nicole was like, girl, I am not worried at all. You were the best before the accident, and you will be best now. Eva had her pluses, yeah, but you are the right person for this job, honey. So Laura's like, girl, thank you for the vote of confidence. And so Mona was like, girl, I am still kicking myself for recommending Eva to work here. Nicole was like, don't do that, honey. How could you have known that any of this would have happened? Girl, you ain't know. None of us knew. So Mona was like, instinct maybe? So Nicole was like, girl, psychic abilities, because that was the only gift that you would have needed to know that something was wrong or when it came to Eva or even Leslie. And she says that Leslie is a master manipulator, complete with disguises with 50 million wigs, honey. Nicole was like, she even had me fooled. And Kat was like, girl, she ain't fooled me. Kat was like, and I said that shit from the start. A lot of good did that do. And Mona was like, child, I wish I would have listened to you. And so Nicole was like, I do not want to rehash any of that, okay, y'all? Laura is back where she belongs and everything is normalizing. We want to woosah right now. So Nicole says she got to skedaddle and do some errands, but she says she hates to leave Laura, on her own, but she has to do this run real quick, and she knows that she's an eagle, baby. You're going to soar through this. You'll be just fine. So she asked Kat, was she coming? And Kat was like, nah, I think I'm going to stay, honey. Help Laura get back on her feet. So Kat was like, Eva really fucked things up for you. She was like, no. Laura's like, no, it's just different. It looks like she downloaded like a new notes program or something. And it's linked to the calendar, so she used it for everything. And so now I gotta learn this shit in order for me to undo this shit. So Kat was like, bitch, I wish I could undo Eva. Shit. So Laura's like, girl, I just don't want to make a mistake and let your mama down. Kat was like, well, here's my advice. Girl, if you make a mistake, just blame Eva and move the fuck on. So, Kat gets a phone call. She says she has to go. Sorry she couldn't help Laura. Laura's like, girl, go ahead on. You weren't no help anyway. So we got to Leslie's apartment. So Jacob is giving her something in a plastic bag. And he's like, these items will be returned to you. So she took a picture of that shit while he was carrying it out here. And she said, well, I hope you got what you came for. Now, how about that restraining order that I've been asking you to get from that lunatic Cat Richardson? And Jacob was like, look, in my fucking job, I've learned how to read people pretty fucking well. And it's so easy to see that you're the type of person who enjoys feeling like they've got something over on the rest of us. She's like, whom, what? He's like, your ass will make a mistake eventually, Leslie. And for your sake, bitch, you better pray that you're not in my jurisdiction when you do. She says, bonsoir. And then she takes pictures of him and the cop as they're leaving. She closes the door and, she does her little talk to herself. She leans on the door. Ooh, scary. Baby, when I'm done with you, I'm going to own you and your whole damn jurisdiction. So we're back to the palace with Vernon and Anita. She's like, I want it, baby. I want it. But wanting it is not enough. Even if I did say, okay, let's do this shit. There's Sharon, honey, who's made her resistance abundantly clear. We were successful as a 3-woman group. To do it right, we got to do that shit again. So it's settled, baby. I'm going to call Jim Price right now and tell him that the concert is off. So as soon as she says that, we hear the ding, ding, dong, ding, ding, dong, ding, ding, dong. Hey, ring a ding, 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 dong. Hey, we hear the doorbell. Vernon was like, I'll get it. He opens the door and Sharon walked right past him to about Vernon. She walked right past him, honey. Go ahead, Sharon. She busts up in there to about leave it to Anita to be the surprise in a fucking punch bowl. She says there is no excuse for you, Anita. Anita's like, oh, no, 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 no. This is not happening. Not here, not today. I am done doing this dance with you, Sharon. So you can take all that fucking negative energy, baby, and take that shit somewhere else. Sharon was like, how about same time, same place tomorrow? Would that work for you? Since you were the one who always wanted to be in charge, baby, why don't you tell me when and where, huh? Because this is definitely going to happen. Vernon says, I'm going to give y'all some space. Now holla, baby, if there's some bloodshed. He looks at Tracy and skedaddles, baby. She tells Vernon chicken, and Tracy was like, a word of caution, baby. I recognize the energy, and you two are 5 seconds away from a knockdown drag out. So why don't we not try to go there? It's so good to see all 3 of them in one space. It is so cute. She tells Sharon, hit her, and choose your words, sis. So Anita was like, fine, but know this. This is not going to be a replay of our last conversation. You had your moment, baby, to dump all your pent-up anger and bitterness on me. And I took that shit. Yes, I did do some things that I wish to God that I could take back. But your ass ain't gonna march into my fucking home and tell me that I'm the only one to blame here. And she looks at Tracy and says, you either, missy. For the record, the moral high ground is something that none of us can take from way down here. See, now that's the Anita I know. I've been waiting for her. Now, I like that she had her vulnerable moment, but this is the Anita Williams Dupree that I've been waiting on. That's her house. That's that energy that she was meeting Leslie with. That's Anita. Not Nita, but that's Anita. Love it. Okay, now we're with Laura at the office, and she looked confused. Her phone is just buzzing, baby. So she's getting calls, and she's like, Dr. Richardson's office. Oh, yeah, I can confirm that meeting with you. Oh, no, well, let me call you right back. That girl don't know how to handle that damn system. I feel like she's got to call Eva to help her. She needs... Remember Nicole was going to have 2 assistants because she was that busy with her philanthropic... Oh, I said it! Philanthropic ventures in her business. And she got all these clients, especially with this climate. People need to lay on her couch, honey. So she needs 2 assistants, or she needs to come in there and help Laura get acclimated to the new system. So I think it would be a brilliant idea. Honey, while she's telling that person, let me call you back, the person hung up the phone on her. Oh, she answered with a really nice professional voice, and y'all hung up on her. So, Laura reads all this computer jargon, and if she touched something, the whole computer's going to blow up. So she's really nervous. She's like, what the fuck does this mean? So we get to the next scene, and we see Ted and Eva talking. He apologizes to Eva that Kat has been so negative towards her. That bitch ain't been negative. She been mean. So Eva was like, when she makes up her mind for about something, honey, he was like, yeah, that's good, but for business now, but with personal relationships, nah, not necessarily. So she's like, all I did was just enter her life under false pretenses and try to fuck up her parents' marriages. I mean, gosh, get over it, girl. So he was like, it has never really been that easy for Kat, especially even if Leslie was running the show. So look, Eva was like, look, us talking right here, baby, me and you, me and my pappy bonding and stuff, I couldn't have asked for nothing more. This is exactly what my heart needs. He was like, are you sure that's all you want? She was like, oh, well, it would be a little bit nice if I could spend more time with Martin and his family. But that ain't up to Ted to do that. It's Martin and Smitty to do that. She talking about having fish fries with her brother and niece and nephew and brother-in-law. All that she wants to do. Do they do fish fries? I know they do pizza night, but I don't know if Martin and Smitty be doing frying no fish. He was like, keep going. And she was like, well, I know this is a little bit much. This might be really far reaching. She's like, but because I guess she's just talking about what her idea life would be. She's like, even having a relationship with Nicole again, I would love that. She's like, and maybe Kat one day, oh, but that would be great. I bet you Ted is thinking like, me too, honey, me too. So she was like, honey, I know I don't deserve it. He's like, look, I think you deserve more than you give yourself credit for. So we hear a plinking, and it's her phone, and so she looks at it, and she's looking like, oh my god. So he was like, everything okay? She's like, yeah, I have to go and do something. So she was like, but I could stay. He was like, no, 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 go, sure, go do your thing. And she's like, okay, thank you. So as she's leaving, Nicole again, Nicole just shows up at the most inopportune time. But she runs into Eva, and she's looking at Ted, and she's like, oh my god. So Eva just sachets by her and leaves. So the next we are at the precinct, and we see Kat sitting at Jacob's desk. Why are you sitting at this man's desk? Why does he do that? He said, I can't ask operations to get you an office, right? She's like, pardon my interest, but I'm just ready to see justice to be served. She's like, those two lunatics need to be served. He was like, look, Kat, I understand how you feel, but I do mind that you sitting at my desk. Get the fuck up. She's like, picky. And she sees the plastic bag that he's carrying from Leslie's place. And she's like, oh, is that from Leslie's house? She was like, did you serve the search warrant on her ass? He was like, come on, Kat, get out so I can sit down. He's like, yes, I did. He said, but she seemed to be like expecting them. But you will be surprised that we didn't find anything, of course. So Kat was like, well, then what's all this? He was like, just stuff to make her nervous, make her sweat a little bit. But it's just to let her know that we're serious. But that heifer, she real smart. So she said, yeah, she likes to let everyone know every chance she gets. So she's like, so that apartment is like really small, right? She does have a small apartment. So she was like, so if she didn't keep that motorcycle helmet there, she's like, oh, believe it. He's like, if she kept it, she's like, oh yeah, she kept that shit. Leslie is smart as fuck, but she's arrogant too. She said if she doesn't still have the evidence, then Eva helped her to get rid of it. That girl know her shit. He's like, wait a minute. Jacob was like, that's a big leap. She's like, or her shady, smart ass daughter is hiding evidence, so she didn't want to risk keeping it. So she's saying that Eva is hiding that evidence for her mama because she's really, loyal to her old arrogant ass mama. He was like, I love you, fam, but sometimes, girl, you just like a brick. He's like, you got to listen to me, Kat, back off. I don't want to do all this work on this damn case only for a judge to throw it out because you butt your nose in. She was like, okay, well, a judge don't ever have to know. Problem solved. He was like, do you remember when I arrested your Aunt Danny? She's like, yeah, traitor. He's like, look, that's just a fucking reminder. I take my job very damn seriously. She sits down at his desk and tells him, like, you arrested Aunt Danny because she was waving a pow pow around. If you arrest me, family friend of a victim of a deliberate road rage incident, the same victim who was nearly a hospital fatality. And she straightened up that face. She was like, how in the fuck you think that's going to look? He was like, to who? You want to take this to the public? She was like, my brother-in-law, baby, is a reporter. Did you forget that shit? He was like, listen, my bad. I ain't got no reason to throw no threats at you, girl. I'm just damn frustrated, all right? And she was like, me too. Sorry. He was like, same. So he says, but there is a way that we can stop her. I'm sorry. He said that there is a way that we need to stop going back and forth with each other about this. You stay in your damn lane, I stay in mine. So if you really, really do want justice for your parents, he says, let the police do our work, honey. We happen to be very good at this shit. So we're back at Uptown, and so it looks like Nicole is there to pick up a meal from Uptown, and so he walks up to her. Ted walks up to her and said, I haven't seen you since. She was like, yeah, that day at the hospital. And she was like, believe me, I got your message. He says, believe me, I got your message. And he was like, you're not ready to talk, but no, I'm always and will still be available for you. She's like, so you said in your card. He was like, you got the flowers, huh? She's like, they were lovely. Reminded me of a very different time, a time that meant a lot to me. He said to me too, baby, because I meant every word, Nicole. He says he loves her as much now as the day that they took their vows. She's like, I thought we weren't talking yet. He's like, and yet, here we are doing exactly that. She playing tough. She's like, you're doing all the talking. Hopefully Leslie don't bring her ass there. Please don't come there, bitch. He was like, sure, but I haven't heard you tell me to shut up. She takes a deep breath. So we back at the palace, honey, and Anita was like, you both could have walked away when Dante fired Barbara. If my behavior was so reprehensible, you could have started a new group with her and shut me the fuck out. But you didn't, did you? You rode the gravy train that was me all the way to the end of that line. We were all on that stage together, night after night, song after song. And you took your bows, baby, and cashed your check. You better say that, Anita. So let's not pretend that I was the only one who was ambitious and selfish. And I am not going to stand here and be your emotional punching bag. The version of this story where I'm the villain and you're completely innocent, you could take that shit and stick it where the sun don't shine, bitch. That damn Sharon talking about, ooh, honey, I guess you told me, huh? So we're at Orphe Jeans, and so we see Laura there with that laptop, honey. And so Eva comes in, and so Eva tells her that you are the last person that I expected to hear from. So Laura was like, well, you're the last person I expected that I needed to reach out to. Laura said it wasn't easy, and Eva was like, yeah, I bet. So Eva was like, I know you want to yell about me, everything I did, to get where I got. She was like, yeah, I really do. But I mean, the jury is still out on you. But your mother, baby, your mother is girl, I don't even have the word for your mammy. But Laura was like, girl, I ain't call you for none of that, girl. I am in trouble, honey. She's like, I don't understand this new notes program shit that you installed on this damn computer, and I don't have time to figure that shit out right now, girl. I need to keep everything on track for Nicole. So Eva was like, you want a crash course? And so Laura was like, is that asking too much, girl? She was like, I said, some people think that I should pretend that you never existed, but while others think that it's more complicated. So Eva tells her she's there to help her for whatever, and if she wants to walk away and act like she don't even know her no more, that's fine. We still good. So Eva, with her dumb self, apologizes to what happened to her, but she said, I didn't do it, but I'm sorry. So why are you apologizing? And she will help her uninstall that dumbass notes program that she installed on her computer. So we're back at the precinct, and so Kat says, now we can surmise. And she was like, oh, that's a detective word, right? Surmise. So she's smiling, and Jacob was like, giving her like, girl, what are you trying to say? So Kat tells him that she has a theory. She feels that Eva helped incriminated her Miami by taking that shit out of the apartment before you could get there to her. So what the fuck is stopping you for getting a search warrant for Eva's hotel room? He's like, pretty much the same evidence that granted us access to Eva Leslie's apartment won't get us that same access into Eva's place. We can't do that. She's like, I just have to think of another way. And he's like, in a legal way? She's like, not necessarily. He's like, so let's hypothesize this. You go sneaking on your own. She's like, I never said that. He said, remember, I'm the detective. Remember that? He said, let's further say that you happen to find something. Some type of incriminating evidence amongst Eva's possessions. She was like, then you have enough evidence to lock Eva and Leslie up. He was like, no, Kat, but I will have enough evidence to arrest your ass for stealing. He was like, girl, I know that you're invested in this and so am I, but we have to be careful and follow the fucking law. She gets an attitude. She's like, you're right. It's just better to let Eva and Leslie go free, honey. Just let them walk all in the streets of Fairmont Crest and just go ahead and be a terror to us all. All right. So we're back at Uptown and we see Nicole and Ted just still talking. He was like, I tell you what, I'll keep talking until you tell me not to. We'll see how far we get. And she's looking at him like, you looking good right there. I want you to wrap your arms around me, but I ain't playing that game. I'm not ready. She's like, Ted. He was like, that wasn't exactly shut up. Girl, I said I didn't want that bitch to show up. Oh, look at this. The gang's all here. Oh my God. We're in the middle of something, Dana, he tells her. God almighty. Yeah, the floor where I was walking, you're in the middle of it, nigga. Well, but maybe I'll just stand here and watch. Girl! So Terry was like, let's just go somewhere else. And Nicole was like, honey, no reason. We've said all there is to say. She says, ciao, Nikki. That damn Leslie. He says, impeccable timing as usual. She was like, she got serious. She's like, I'm glad I ran into you. Call off those police lackeys that you bought and paid off. Get them off my back, or I'll be forced to have to take matters into my own hands. Ted says, firstly, I don't own the PD. Nobody does. Not in this town. Girl, you ain't lying. You in DC? He said, but can't you entertain the possibility that the cops are investigating you for good reasons? She's like, secondly, you said firstly, secondly. I know there's a secondly coming. What is it? He's like, well, when you have not taken matters into your own hands, when have you not done that? When have you not taken matters into your own hands, girl? She says, that's what you used to like about me. Yeah. I mean, when I think about it, we completed each other, Ted. He was like, the woman who completes me just walked out that damn door. So he leaves and she bumps shoulders with him like, ooh, my cat is wet. She ain't getting no action. You know that mind of hers. I can only imagine what's going on in the middle of that brain of hers. We back at the palace, and so Anita tells Sharon, I do not want to fight with you, Sharon. That was not my goal when I asked Tracy to try to convince your ass to come. And I've admitted my mistakes and tried to make up for them in ways that you two will never know. And that is all I can do. Sharon's like, you never change, do you? Here you go again, jumping to conclusions. Not letting anyone get a word in edgewise. If you would just zip it up for 1 sec, I can tell you that I came here to let you know I changed my mind. Anita was like, well, I haven't changed mine. When you barged in here, I was just about to call that damn agent and cancel the whole thing. Ooh, she says, the sad fact is that the articulates are as dead as Barbara. Ooh, and nothing can resurrect them. Sharon is looking at her like, bitch, you know the way out by now. Get the fuck out. We're done here. She busts through Sharon, like, this bitch about to knock me over. Oh, Nita goes to the foyer and falls on that couch and just tee tee. And that is today's episode of Beyond the Gates. It was so good. Episode 67 was really, really good. Had some, I chopped some stuff down a little bit, but it was good. It was feel good. It was a feel good one. I'm glad to see Anita was back to her cutthroat word self, because that lady can tear you down and act like she don't give a fuck. So thank y'all for coming by. Hopefully y'all enjoyed today's recap. It was such a good time. So tomorrow, who knows what tomorrow's going to bring, baby, because Fridays be bringing with the fire. Whew, let's see. That damn Leslie shows up at the most inopportune time, don't she? Girl, like I told you, she thinks she the Holy Ghost. She be everywhere. I was like, please don't let her come in there. She came in there anyway. Just disturbed Nicole's energy. All right, I will see y'all in the next video. And keep commenting, y'all. Keep talking so we can have our front porch talk before we start opening up these gates and having our discussion. Love y'all so much. And I will see y'all in the next video. Bye.